Fortinet unfortunately recently reported earnings and the stock price dropped nearly 25%. If you are familiar with this channel, you might have seen my previous video where I did about a week ago, where I kind of take a closer look at what went wrong with their earnings and why were investors a little bit unexcited with the results. On today's episode, what I want to do is something different. I want to take a closer look at the reasons to be bullish on Fortinet and to see if this is a buying opportunity. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. All right, so the first thing I want to take a closer look at is financial strength. Later on in this video, I'm going to take a closer look at some of their technological advancements and some of their reasons to be bullish in their technology. But I do believe with the current macroeconomics and the current state that we're in the world and business right now, it is very important to make sure you have a very, very healthy balance sheet. So for the first thing I want to take a closer look is their financial strength. And I want to say things look pretty good. Cash and short-term investments of roughly $3.3 billion, only about $1 billion in total long-term debt. So strong positive net cash. We also take a closer look at free cash flow. This is has a nice positive free cash flow on both a quarterly basis and a trailing 12-month basis. If we take a closer look, even though the company might be seeing a bit of a slowdown, like I mentioned, I talk about it in the previous videos of Fortinet, the company or Fortinet is still expected to grow roughly 17.7% in the current quarter. So we are seeing kind of a nice strength in revenue overall. Now, if we take a closer look at the PE ratios, might not be the best metric to kind of look at, but I do believe it's great to kind of just see where the company has been before and where it's heading in forms of valuation. Current PE ratio is roughly at 43. It's one of its lowest it's been in the past 3 years. Forward PE ratio is closer to 38.17, and forward 1 year, which is the end of next fiscal year, we can see forward PE ratio 1 year is closer to 32.94. And again, this is a company that's expected to grow, obviously, in the cybersecurity market, which is a growing market, an emerging market. So overall, these PE ratios, in my opinion, aren't half bad, and we can see they are a lot cheaper than before. If we take a closer look in the past 3 years, the company continues to hold a strong gross profit margins of in the high 70s, and also continues to kind of improve over time. I do believe if we put this in a trend line, profit margins are kind of improving overall in the past 3 years. So again, I want to say the first thing I wanted to take a closer look at was a healthy financial strength, and I do want to say Fortinet does showcase that. So that would be my first reason to be bullish in Fortinet and why I believe this could be a great player. Now, I do believe the next is the market opportunity. So before I kind of take a closer look at these two things that came from their earnings, I want to just grab some information from their overall investors relations website. So Fortinet is definitely a leader in the cybersecurity. Like I mentioned, the cybersecurity market, total addressable market, is roughly 280 billion and is expected to grow, growing significantly faster than the overall market as they are expanding into new things like SD-WAN, hybrid and multi-cloud, zero trust, endpoint, 5G, and OT. They do mention that Fortinet is one of the largest cybersecurities, and that's obviously a nice amount of growth driven because this is a market that's continually expanding. We do see some kind of results from Gartner that kind of showcase that Fortinet is definitely a leader in numerous places. Here we can see in network firewalls, Fortinet is recognized as a leader in December 2022. In SD-WAN, we see that Fortinet is also recognized as a leader as of September of 2022. Wired and wireless LAN, we also see that Fortinet as a visionary, right? So overall, in November of 2022, so overall, we can see that Fortinet is definitely an important player and a top player in a lot of these cybersecurity solutions. One of my favorite things is, you guys know I'm huge in the semiconductor market, right? And one of the things I do enjoy about Fortinet is they do design their own semiconductor or their own silicon that goes in a lot of their hardware solutions. And the great thing about this is, just have we seen every other semiconductor company goes, they create a hardware, right? But what's more important is when you kind of create some form of software or some form of application to really do well with that hardware. We've seen NVIDIA do it perfectly. We're seeing AMD kind of following that route. We see Intel following that route. Well, obviously in the cybersecurity market, it's no different. They have created the new generation, which is the SP5, And the SP5, we can see they are continuing to increase the amount of performance and applications available through that kind of chip, right? And I think that's great. It kind of showcases the strength of having their own ASIC product, and it also kind of showcases the strength of their software evolution. Now, kind of taking a closer look at kind of some of the things they mentioned during the company's earnings call. They do mention that right now they are going pretty strong in OT and SD-WAN revenue. It continues to perform well as revenue from these products were up 60% and 40% respectively. They also mentioned that they're still adding record new logos to their partnerships. And they do mention that while certain markets are weak, they are seeing strong growth in the government and manufacturing, as those are still growing a good percentage of total billings. With manufacturing up almost 50%, government and constructions were up over 30%. Good thing about the government market, right, is this is one that usually tends to have a really nice wallet, even doing a slowdown in macroeconomics. Manufacturing, they mentioned that manufacturing sometimes is a little bit of a lagger in technology, and now they're saying, hey, look, we need all these kind of cybersecurity applications or improvements, and we're willing to spend that money because we don't want to get left behind. So we are seeing some growth in those opportunities and markets right now, even during a weakness of the macroeconomics that we're seeing in the overall world. Now, before we go any further, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for the support. We just hit 27,000 subs. I'm trying to hit 30 by the end of the year. Hopefully it's possible. So if you haven't done so, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. If you want to learn more about the semiconductor market, I do have a membership where I do weekly videos on the membership exclusively there, where I do more deep dives. If that's not your thing and you want to do some best stock ideas, check out fool.com/Jose for some great special offers. If you just want some free information, I do have a newsletter at Najarro.substack.com. So plenty of ways for you guys to support the channel, and I truly, truly appreciate it. Finally, I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode. All right, so now let's take a closer look at some new products. So Fortinet recently, when they announced earnings, they announced new SD-WAN services to further simplify operations and enhance their digital experiences. We know this is a market that is growing, very similar to SASE as well. So definitely huge growth opportunities like we talked about earlier on. The second thing is Fortinet just recently announced their FortiGate 90G, and this is going to be their first hardware that is incorporating their SP5, which is that kind of chip that they just designed, their next generation. And they do mention that this is going to be some great products, and they're going to start to see some great demands because this product is better than any of the competition. So they do mention here, right, their proprietary ASIC security process and their ability to converge network and security both on-prem and in the cloud across single OS operation system is a huge success line for Fortinet. Like I mentioned today, they announced, or during earnings, they announced the new FortiGate 90G, their first next generation firewall and secure SD-WAN clients with the new security processor 5 ASIC. And they do mention that this is also incorporated with a lot of their AI solutions, which obviously kind of helps boost the company's performance or the product's performance. Like I mentioned, finally, they did announce 2 new SD-WAN services under the performance monitoring services to simplify operations and have digital experiences, as well as overlay services to facilitate rapid deployment, redundancy, and seamlessly interconnections of location with FortiSASE using SP technology. So overall, their new products just kind of showcase that, hey, this is a company that's continuing to develop. And again, this is not a semiconductor company, but I do believe and I do enjoy that they kind of create their own silicon and their own kind of semiconductor solutions to kind of power their devices and continue to showcase that innovations as new generations progress. And I think that's definitely a great reason to be bullish. Next, obviously, the AI market, right? The AI market is very, very important nowadays. And obviously, we have seen how AI solutions are entering in the cybersecurity market. There were a few kind of independent studies that Fortinet got done to kind of showcase the strength of their AI solutions. Take it with a grain of salt, right? They probably paid them. So it might be a little bit better than it looks, but still, it is pretty impressive. They do mention that Fortinet Security Operations Solutions use AI to slash time to detect and respond to incidents from 3 weeks to 1 hour. I think that is insane. But they do mention, according to this ESG analysis, early detection and prevention (EDP), the time to identify threats was reduced from 168 hours, roughly 21 business days, if detected at all, to less than an hour and often only seconds using Fortinet EDP technologies, which include various solutions that use artificial intelligence. They also talk about Kara, which is their create, analytics, and response automation, and they do mention that investigate threats drop from 6 hours to a minute or less using the insight and automation of Fortinet Kara components, which again has numerous applications within itself. Within there, the company did mention that obviously they're going to continue to develop in AI solutions, just because there's so much promise across the AI market and the cybersecurity market, and they do believe AI technologies can help them significantly to improve productivity and be scaled to large customer base in areas such as malware detection and numerous other things. And Fortinet has said that, hey, look, we've been doing AI for numerous time. This is not the first time. We're not just going with the buzz, but we're just kind of showcasing all the AI solutions that we have. Now, I want to say all those are great reasons to be bullish. The final thing is probably not individual. It's not deep in the company, but the company does have roughly $2 billion in buybacks at the moment. In the past 6 months, the company has actually not purchased any shares at all. But last year, in the first 6 months of the year, they purchased roughly $1.5 billion at a price point of $57.82. If we remember, Fortinet right now is roughly at $57.70. So I personally believe with this $2 billion the company has in buybacks right now, and this huge drop that the company saw with this overall market, right? The cybersecurity is an is an innovating, emerging market that continues to grow and expand, and it's something new almost every year. So there's definitely that growth opportunity that I want to say this company is probably going to surprise us in the next quarter with a nice amount of buybacks. And who knows, maybe in the upcoming months or in the upcoming weeks, they might even organize another buyback program to increase the amount of shares, amount of money that they have to repurchase shares, because I do believe for them, if they do see a bullish case right now, the stock is looking pretty attractive. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.